Chicago. What is going on right now because the Windy City is shaking to its absolute core today? Our front office just pulled the trigger on a move that feels like a massive gamble with our entire future on the line. We are talking about life after DJ Moore and the weight of the world falling on one young man's shoulder. This is the moment where we find out if we are building a dynasty or if we are walking into a total nightmare. Join the tribe and hit subscribe because we are pushing for 3,000 subscribers right now. Luther Burden is now the focal point of everything we are trying to achieve in this 2026 season. When the news broke that the Chicago Bears sent DJ Moore packing in a trade with the Buffalo Bills, it sent an absolutely massive shockwave through every sports bar from Soldier Field to the suburbs of this historic city. We all knew DJ Moore was struggling lately, and seeing him post a career-low 682 yards in 2025 was tough to watch, but he was still the veteran safety net for our franchise quarterback, Caleb Williams. Now that net is gone, and the spotlight is blindingly bright on Luther Burden as he enters his second year in the league. This is not just a standard progression, because this is a trial by fire for a kid who has to prove he can be the alpha in this room every single day. We also have Rome Odunze standing there, but the jury is still very much out on him as he enters his third season. The stakes could not be any higher for this offense because we are staring down a 2-decade streak of failing to make back-to-back postseason appearances. Can you believe it has been that long? Everything depends on how Caleb Williams develops, and he cannot do that if his playmakers do not step up. The defense is going to be our backbone, but this offense will decide if we finally break the curse. Luther Burden finished the 2025 season with some serious momentum by racking up 652 yards and 2 touchdowns in the second half alone. That stretch showed us flashes of greatness, but flashes are not enough anymore when you are the number one guy. Brent Sobleski from Bleacher Report is already calling for a massive leap because the team believes Luther Burden can be just as effective as Moore without the heavy contract. Do you think the front office is being genius or reckless by putting this much pressure on this incredible young player? The hype train for Luther Burden is already moving at full speed, and the conductor is none other than our head coach, Ben Johnson. This is where the story gets even crazier, because the coaching staff is not just hopeful, they are completely sold on this kid being a superstar. Ben Johnson went on the record earlier this offseason saying that Luther Burden is exactly what the team thought they were getting when they drafted him. He called him a dynamic playmaker and claimed he has some of the best run after the catch ability in the entire game of football right now. That is a massive statement to make about a player with only 1 year under his belt every single Sunday, but it explains exactly why the legendary Chicago Bears felt so comfortable shipping off DJ Moore to Buffalo. They are betting the house on the idea that they can just feed the ball to Luther Burden and watch him transform this offense with his explosive feet. It is a bold strategy that ignores the need for a veteran presence in that room. The organization is expecting a historic leap from him that usually takes years for most receivers to achieve. We are talking about a player who has to become the heartbeat of the passing game overnight. Ben Johnson is basically saying we do not need to hunt for more big names because we already have the real solution on the roster. It feels like a high-stakes game of poker where the Chicago Bears are going all in on Luther Burden and his ability to make defenders look ridiculous in the open field. But we have to ask ourselves if this is too much too soon for a young player. Is it fair to expect him to carry the weight of a city on his back while Caleb Williams is still trying to find his rhythm? The raw truth is that if Luther Burden does not become a top-tier threat immediately, this whole plan could blow up in our faces and ruin our season completely. Here is where the anxiety starts to kick in for me as a fan, because the rest of that wide receiver room looks unbelievably shaky behind our top 2 guys. If Luther Burden or Rome Odunze have to miss any time at all, we are looking at a group that is almost entirely unproven or past their prime. We have guys like Calif Raymond and Scotty Miller on the roster, but let us be real for a second because they have not been productive in years. Then you look at the younger names like Jade Walker and the rookie Xavier Thomas, who are complete wildcards in this equation. It is a total mystery what we can expect from them when the bullets start flying in 2026. General Manager Ryan Poles has been vocal about how difficult this system is for a newcomer to learn. He specifically mentioned that Xavier Thomas is going to face a massive challenge trying to break through quickly, because Ben Johnson runs a very complex scheme. It is a tough system that requires a fast download of information, and if Xavier Thomas cannot get up to speed, then the pressure on Luther Burden becomes even more suffocating. Poles mentioned they want to open up the competition, but he also admitted that a rookie role might start small and only grow over time if they are lucky. We are essentially praying that at least 2 of these depth players can step up and provide some sort of absolute support. If they fail to do that, then opposing defenses are just going to bracket Luther Burden and force Caleb Williams to throw into tight windows all day long every single game. This feels like a tightrope walk over a pit of fire, and we are all just holding our deep breath, hoping the young guys can balance the load and heavy pressure. The lack of a proven third option is a glaring hole that could turn this legendary dream season into a recurring nightmare if things do not click right away and start making real plays. I am honestly losing my mind thinking every single morning about the risk involved here, right now, because we have seen this story before in Chicago. We have a franchise quarterback who finally looks like the real deal in Caleb Williams, and we are asking him to lead us to the promised land with a receiving core that is a science experiment. It is unbelievable that we are putting this much faith in a second-year leap from Luther Burden without any veteran insurance policy. I have theory that the front office is trying to prove they are the smartest guys in the room by building through youth and shedding unbelievably expensive contracts like Moore had. They want to show the rest of the league that the Chicago Bears can win with homegrown talent and elite coaching, but they are playing with fire. Every other team in the division is loading up on proven weapons while we are sitting here crossing our fingers that a kid from the 2025 draft can become an all-pro overnight. Seriously though, we need to see Luther Burden become that guy who demands a double team on every snap, because that is the only way the rest of these unproven receivers will even have a real chance to breathe. I want to believe the hype from Ben Johnson because he sees these guys in practice every day. But my gut is telling me this is a massive gamble. We are a tribe that has suffered through decades of mediocre offense, and we deserve a group that can actually absolutely scare people. If Luther Burden can actually deliver on those run-after-catch highlights, then we are going to be a problem for the entire NFL. But if he hits a sophomore slump, then we are going to be looking back at that DJ Moore trade with a lot of historic regret. It is time for these young stars to show us that they are ready for the big stage and prove all the haters wrong once and for all. This is the moment where we decide what kind of team we are going to be in 2026. Are we the team that is brave enough to trust our young stars, or are we just setting ourselves up for more disappointment? The future of this franchise is resting on the shoulders of Luther Burden and his ability to take that historic leap into greatness. If he can become the dynamic playmaker that Ben Johnson describes, then we are looking at the most exciting Chicago Bears offense we have seen in our entire lives. We need to stand behind these guys because they are the ones who will lead us back to the playoffs and finally break that 2-decade curse. I want to see your fire in the comments below now. Do you believe in Luther Burden and this young wide receiver room, or do you think Ryan Poles made a massive mistake by trading away our veteran safety net? I read every comment, and I want to know if you think this is our year to finally dominate the North. We are building something special here, and we are so close to our goal of reaching 3,000 subscribers. So please hit that button and join the most passionate tribe in football. We do not just watch the games because we live and breathe this team every second of every day. Your support is what keeps this channel going and what keeps the energy high as we head into this critical season. Let us make some noise so the rest of the league knows that the monsters of the Midway are coming back with a vengeance. Caleb Williams is ready, and Luther Burden is ready, and I hope you are ready for a wild ride because it is going to be a season we never forget. This is our time and this is our team, so let us get to work and show the world what Chicago is all about. Thank you for being part of the Absolute family and sharing this journey with me tonight. Bear down!